na karaktering nga istorya kay tinuod. Pwede mo ini masiring nga tuod, ini nga istorya.
Dire may maabot ng bit anniversary ni mo nanay.
Mauli naman ni Papa. Kuha na lutwarta.
Utot ka ba?
Akala ko di mo papansin kasi tulog ka.
Sarang gradi?
Naku, hindi ako tinutukoy mo. Hindi pa nga kita nakita sa buong buhay ko.
Tulungan mo ako.
Makinig ka, wala na ako sa eskwelahan. Hindi na rin ako teacher. Ano pa namang tulong may bibigay ko sa'yo?
Gusto ko lang naman makapunta sa Sicogon dahil nandun ang papa ko.
Ang bagyong Yolanda, damuan namatay nga babayi ang pamilya.
Mayaman doon, yung kapitalista, para i-develop yung island namin. Kinuha lahat yung mga...
Tumutulong ako sa mga tao na makalimutan ang kanilang nakaraan. Kung hindi yun gawa ng Diyos, hindi ko alam kung ano pa to. Paano ka naman yan mabubuhay kapag hindi ka marunong makipaglaban?
Alam mo, may isang nagsabi na ang kalungkutan daw nagpapabago ng kaanyuan, pero hindi natatapos lahat doon.
Sino nagsabi? Jesus?
Si Keanu Reeves.
Ini nga to na itnahatag in pagkaon haamon. Amo nga sagrado.
Ngayon, oras at pinakabarahan ng butang, pinakalibutan. Paspas!
Boom, there you go. That was a trailer for ASOG. We're going to be talking all about it with, as you see on the screen, writer, director Sean Devlin. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds World. Nerds rule the world. And this is another ShoPowSho. So, of course, it's Dobro, the Babinka boy, the leader of the Hala Hala homies in the Center Gang, ready to give you another one and give love and light to an amazing film like ASOG. You see him on screen, Sean Devlin. Sean, I'm shooting off air horns right now. It's in post, so I don't deafen you. But we celebrate our people around here on the ShoPowSho.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Definitely. So this is an amazing film. It's arriving as of this recording on all digital platforms on April 11th. I can't wait for everybody to see it, to reach a wider audience, and to see just how important this film is. As they saw from the trailer, this is a mixture of fiction and real stuff that happened with this super typhoon. And for those of us that have families and relatives in the Philippines, we know that this is a constant threat. But there's also other threats with the government and society and just everything. And just an important and profound and important project. And I thank you as a fellow Filipino, as a creative, to use your skills and abilities to shine light on important subjects like this.
Cheers. Thank you. Yeah, I had a mentor who taught me that responsibility is just your special ability to respond to a situation. And so my mother is from Leyte Island, where this typhoon made landfall, 12 years ago. And but I was born and raised in Canada. And so my interest was just trying to do something there that might be of some use. And my abilities are stand-up comedy and making films. So that's what brought us here.
Amazing. All right. So again, just wonderful to use those talents for the greater good. I guess I really want to start off with where you were when the initial typhoon that started this, Yolanda, occurred. Because I know from reading on the press kit and everything, there was another hurricane or typhoon that happened that affected a family member of yours. And then I don't know if you were there for that, but like, where were you? And then when the ball started rolling to come up with this, I'm assuming it was once you were affected with your family, it kind of maybe push the ball even more.
Yeah, pretty much exactly. So I've been a part, I do stand up, I do film, but I'd also been a part of a lot of climate change organizing going back, over 15 years. And so I was involved in that extent, and that's when the storm happened. So I was nowhere near this storm. I was in Canada. My cousin lost her home a few years before Haiyan and Typhoon Sendong, different typhoon. just south of Haiyan. So yeah, my family was touched by it, and then of course seeing the way that Super Typhoon Haiyan just wreaked so much devastation on the island where my mom was born and raised, that I had spent, time on over the years. It just made me want to be involved somehow. So that's what brought me to it. But I wasn't filming there until the year after. So this is my third film now, my second feature there. And I started filming in these communities in 2014, the year after the storm.
Again, when I was doing research, I love when PR firms reach out, and especially when it's Philippine, my people, because I don't think we get the press. Like for me, it's like I'm now discovering the amazing Sean Devlin. Like I want to dive more into your work, and I'm gonna probably hit you up to see if we can go more into what you've done completely as a whole thus far, because that's what I regularly do on ShoPowSho. So I'm honored to chat with you, Sean, and speak on this. So, because just amazed, like when you have these abilities, and I was reading like you spoke out, and you have the government coming at you a little bit and different things, but to have that bravery to just make things happen is just big. But if I can turn it back around, so you visited your homeland. I've never been to the Philippines yet myself, and that's a life goal, bucket list
Oh, I
item.
love it.
But to have been there before and already know that, we know about our homeland. We're not the richest. We don't have all these amazing things, but to see it before and then after has to break your heart.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's heartbreaking, and certainly you see some of those images in the film. I think something that was so key, though, and inspiration in the making of it, and just because I'm a comedian, was just the ways in which people are able to laugh and find joy despite all of that, and also just able to be proud of the places they live, even if it is in a state of calamity, even years after the storm. A lot of stuff has still not been fixed. And so, a lot of times when we see these Hollywood movies depict the Philippines, they'll do it in a specific way. So they'll put that sepia kind of brown filter on it, and then the camera gets all shaky to make it gritty and dangerous, and that's a very Western perspective on it. But we wanted to shoot this, the way that these people saw their own community, which is there's a lot of pride, there's a lot of dignity. People still can see the beauty despite the state of calamity. And we wanted to render the story with that kind of, admiration and respect and reverence. And also just to have fun, like as heavy as the subject matter is, the film is as much a comedy as it is a drama. And despite the fact that everyone in the film is a real survivor of this typhoon, no one in the film is a trained actor. We did have a lot of fun making it, and I do think that comes across on screen, and we've certainly seen that at the film festivals.
Definitely. I love that. And I don't know if there was a quote, or I think I saw or in one of the write-ups, but like I think it might have even been in the trailer, but like despair is like always. We're always living in despair, but it's just how you just deal, and you just kind of keep it moving, I think, with life. I'm probably brutalizing that, but I think I saw it somewhere in the write-up. But it's
No,
just
that's
such a
totally
testament to
true.
the people, you know?
Yeah, and I think I mean, this film is played in festivals in like 19 countries now. I didn't get to go to all of them, but something that's been really neat is just one, connecting with Filipino folks in all these other countries who show up and are so supportive, but also meeting folks who are not Filipino but are black, brown, and whatever, and they'll often say, "Oh, the Filipino sense of humor, it's sort of like our sense of humor." And I'd be like, "What do you mean by that?" And they'd say, "Well, it's funny and sad at the same time." And that's such a specific thing. And one of the strongest compliments I've enjoyed getting from the film when people come out of it is saying that. They're saying, "I was literally crying and laughing at the same time." And I think for folks who don't come from that kind of culture, that can be a really new experience in a movie theater to have those two things accessed at the same time. But I think for a lot of us, it's just the reality we grew up in, or the history we've lived with, and all that.
Definitely. That's the soul showing right there. We're laughing and we're
Yeah.
crying all at the same time. It's so beautiful. So okay, you decide to make this film, but you're a comedian, you know, you're this but you've done other work, obviously, and you had other work before this, but now we're gonna do such a profound film to this regard, but also be safe. And how do we make this happen? I was looking at the the Instagram of like the timeline of and the way you use it as a tool to also help promote the film. And you have some amazing people that came involved, like Joel Kim Booster, Adam McKay, just some wonderful people that kind of gleamed on. What was it like putting it together? So like, we're going to go over there, and I know it kind of took a while because of permits and things happening in the Philippines.
Yeah, I mean, so credit where it's due, I do need to say what really kicked it off initially was I was making a short documentary with survivors of this typhoon, was working for a humanitarian organization that asked me to do that. And it was the 1 year anniversary of the storm. This is 12 years ago now. And, thousands of people died in that storm. If you've ever lost someone, the year anniversary of that loss is a difficult day. And I'm just in the midst of all this, sadness and tragedy. But like you said, I'm a comedian, so I sort of need to laugh pretty often, almost every day, I think. And so it was almost an inappropriate question, I thought, but I asked someone at this organization, this is in Tacloban in Leyte, and I said, is there like a comedy show in town here? And they were like, yeah, you should go to this bar and see Jaya. Jaya's doing a show. And so I go to this show. It's on the 1 year anniversary of the storm, so it's a very serious day. And already I'm curious why this comedian's doing this on the anniversary. And for folks who don't know, Filipino stand-up is not exactly how we know it in the West. Like, it does have people telling jokes, but it also has singing, dancing, and then of course karaoke. And so Jai is up on stage telling jokes, singing, dancing, and then every 10 minutes or so, they would bring someone out of the audience to sing karaoke. And of course, everyone's Filipino, so the karaoke is going to be passionate. But each person chose to sing the favorite song of a loved one that they had lost in the storm.
Oh,
So they're singing beautifully, but they start weeping as they're singing the karaoke. And then everyone in the bar starts weeping. And then when the song's done, Jaya comes back on stage and starts telling jokes again, gets everyone, hitting a 10, just laughing, laughing. And then this rhythm went on for over 2 hours.
mm.
Jokes, 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 then bring someone up on stage. They cry, everyone cries. Jokes, jokes, jokes. Like every 10 minutes, this rhythm. And I was blown away. I mean, I've been doing stand-up since I was a teenager, like more than 20 years, and I had never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
It was like the most profound use of comedy I've ever witnessed in a live setting. And I told Jai right on the spot, I said, I have to work with you. We have to do something together. And so, it's 11 years later, or whatever it is now, we finally got this movie coming out. But to Jaya's credit, that live show really, really sparked it all. And I think part of the advantage you have doing comedy is you get to invite other people to play with you. And so as heavy as the material or some of the stories that were shared were, because the scenes often had some kind of joke we were playing with, these folks just got to have fun, just kind of in a childlike way to be in on the joke and to play with us. And so, yeah, it was a multi-year journey. COVID hit after, like, our first shoot was 2019, then COVID hit, the borders were closed. So I directed some shoots remotely, and then we went back there after COVID and finished it. So, yeah, it's been a really long journey to get to this point, but we're just thrilled with how audiences have been receiving it and excited for it to be available across the United States for people to watch at home.
So beautiful. Such an amazing journey. Award winning, y'all. If y'all haven't seen it, again, let me remind y'all. As of this recording, it's going to be dropping on Friday, April 11th. So it'll be out by the time this drops. Please go support it. After you're done watching this interview, go check it out or pause this and go watch it, then come back. It's such a beautiful film. And Jaya is a treasure. Like I told you before, I started watching this before the film, before, I chatted with you. And yeah, such a treasure, just such a star, and Arnel, and again, both of these films, as you said, well, Jaya's been kind of doing comedy before, but I believe Arnel never acted before, and just when you decided to do it, you reached out, you met Jaya, you said you were going to work with them. What was it like? Okay, now we're going to make this film. Here's the sides. Well, not you didn't have to do the sides. I'm sure you already wrote with them in mind, I'm assuming. Can you tell me that the screenplay's written, you've cast them, and now we're into the throes of filming this project? Yeah.
So Arnel, actually, I've been filming with 12 years, since he was 13 years old. So that first short documentary I did, 2014, he was in that at 13 years old. My first feature film, When the Storm Fades, starred him and his whole family. And so this is actually now my third film with him. What happened after that first feature was his mother, who was in that film, we lost her. I also lost my mother. Our moms had actually come to know each other. They had connected in the Philippines. So we were both going through this, our first kind of real immediate loss of, a parent. And we were just kind of connecting on that as brothers, so to speak. And then around this time, I saw Arnel, post these photos on his Instagram and his Facebook where he was in drag. And I had never seen him express himself this way. And so when I saw him, show this part of himself, that's when I first thought, oh, maybe there's a story we could tell that would involve this comedian, Jaya, who I've been wanting to work with for years. Maybe we could come up with a story that combines, their experiences. And it really started from there. But they co-wrote the film with me. So we really came up with the structure of the film and the scenes by just sharing experiences and memories together. And then, to put it over the top, there's three Filipino dialects spoken in the film. I'm one of those Filipinos in diaspora. I can't speak any of them. My mom didn't teach me Tagalog, didn't teach me her dialects. So the people in the film, certainly we have the idea for the scene, like as an outline, but the actual dialogue they're speaking, about 90% of it, is just them, like basically improvising, speaking from the heart. And certainly we would kind of direct and shape it and all that. But I had to get everything translated to me to understand exactly what was being said. But yeah, Jaya and Arnel, because so many of the stories in the film is very close to their actual experience, we really shaped this all together. And, I think part of why it came out the way it did is because when things would start to get a bit heavy, we just, as friends, wanted to keep having fun. So we would find ways to bring the comedy back into things, just out of necessity while making it together.
Wow, so beautiful. But sometimes did you just let it go? Like, were there some cry sessions because of how hard, and maybe when you were just in certain areas seeing the devastation? Like,
oh, of course, yeah. And usually we would know that. We would be able to anticipate, oh, this scene is going to ask someone to go to this place. And so usually we put those scenes at the end of the shooting day. So like when the scene's done, the day's done, we can just be together and kind of hold space for each other and rest and recover or celebrate whatever we want to do, to try to minimize, the stress of sharing some of those things. But yeah, I think ultimately everyone just knew and bought in on what we believe the significance of the film could be to other audiences, what it could mean to someone who feels seen by it, what it could mean to some of the communities who really need attention for the things they're struggling with. And it's just been amazing as it's gone around the world to see some of that, come to fruition and become real, is, everyone's efforts, kind of paying off.
Definitely. And gonna help so much. Like again, I can't wait to share this with all my friends and family. And everybody, share it with your friends and family. April 11th, it's gonna be available everywhere. Share it. And with Adam McKay, Joel Kim Booster, Alan Cumming coming on board to help with that light. Can you speak on that and its importance? Because it hits on so many levels. And I want to get also to the climate importance, because I think a lot of us are ignoring that. We are destroying our world, but it's so profound for the queer community, as you said, for people to be seen. And I love that. And we know that as Filipinos, and how we feel about that and all of that. Again, I'm sorry, I'm like all over the place because I'm just loving what it's all about, because it touches on so many levels. So Joel Kim Booster, Adam McKay, Alan Cumming coming on board to help further that light. How did that got involved? Did they reach out to you? Were you showing it and to just help with the profile?
Yeah, so it was really, we know, you've got a movie in Filipino dialects. A lot of it's not in Tagalog. So, no actors, no famous actors. So we knew it was going to be a tall task to kind of get the film attention. There's so much stuff out there every day, obviously. And so, yeah, Joel is someone I've done some stand-up shows with over the years. So just sent him the film when it was finished. Adam had been on a producer on some other films I had worked on. He had seen my first feature from the Philippines when it was finished, and so sent him the film and asked him if he would come on board to help raise the visibility of it. And then Alan was someone whose work I admired, and I had a friend who knew him, so it was kind of like through a friend. But yeah, everyone who, after they watched it, they just, gave us so much love and have given us so much support to kind of raise the profile of it, because, just really by bringing their names and their credibility to it to say, pay attention to this. And so, yeah, that's been a blessing. We've been so thankful that they've made time for it amidst their incredibly, busy, hectic schedules. But yeah, that's been a blessing.
That's great allyship there, those that were watching. If you want to support people that that do that, if you have somebody that find somebody. We need that love and light. That's amazing. So salute to them. To have the story, again, you're bringing attention to the typhoon and what it has done. You found this amazing Jaya, and you had Arnel as well, that you worked with on previous films. What was it for you to tell also this queer story as well, and the importance of having queer representation? Obviously, I by virtue of knowing them and being inspired by them, but also just why it's so important, why you don't have to be queer to love this film. And I guess that's also what I want to say, I think it's just so important and so beautiful. But people can learn a lot about others. If we just need more of that, of people learning about others. Talking to you, Orange Man, who I hate anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we need. This is the kind of content I need in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I think so much of the film in the end is about solidarity. And so myself not being queer, I'm cis, straight, but I love Jaya, and I wanted to make something that would pay respect to Jaya's experience and also give Jaya a platform to shine, because they're totally a star. And so I think one amazing thing Jaya said before we started was, they said, I don't want this movie to be about me being gay. I just want to be gay in the movie. And that was such a great kind of direction for me as the director, to understand what they wanted out of it, how they wanted it to be shaped. And there's all these ways in the film that, there's moments where it is about them and their experience and their struggle, but there's just as many moments where it's about them being a part of other people's struggles. And, you mentioned the climate change thing. I think folks in the Philippines are just seeing it and living it, and have been for decades. As someone who was involved in climate change organizing going back, 15 years, but in Canada, the thing I came to realize was, when people talk about climate change, it's so much about the science and the math and all these numbers. And I've come to know over the years that there's a difference between knowing something, like you can know the math, you can know the science, but until you have an emotional experience of the very human ways in which this is impacting other human beings who are just like you, until you have that human emotional experience of the thing, you can know about it, but you do not yet understand it.
Mm.
And that's really what we've been trying to do. Like, you could say the movie's about climate change, but I think it's even only mentioned once the whole film, right? It's more just about what it's like emotionally day to day to live and recover from one of these typhoons. And how do you get back on your feet? How do you laugh? How do you have joy amidst that? And we found lots of audience have been able to engage with it and with, I guess, climate change more broadly, through that just more human connection, bringing it down to that human scale.
Definitely. I completely agree. It's the slick way we can do as creatives. You know, they think, you know, if you sell, oh, it's a climate, no way, I don't want to watch that. But if you say it's a Roland Emmerich disaster climate, you know what I'm saying? How they used to do back in the
Yeah.
90s. Oh, then we'll watch it. Oh, but if we did this, we could have prevented that. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I love that slick approach that we can do as creatives. Sean, thank you for just sharing and creating such a beautiful film and an important film and risking your life in different ways. Again, I was like doing research. You like I think in the Philippines, you went on, they're doing some speech and you came out as you were a secretary or not a secretary, you
Oh,
like
that that
food
that
service. And they like started like some new rule and shit. Like I needed to do a whole Sean Devlin interview besides the songs
oh,
sometime when you're available. Um,
cheers. Yeah, I would love that. That was actually in Canada. With
okay.
the I snuck up on the Canadian Prime Minister, but I was speaking out about the typhoon in the Philippines. So yeah, I was connected to that storm, to climate change. But yeah, I would love to come back some other time and talk about anything, the stand up, the
Yes.
activism, what have you. Yeah.
I gotta have you back. I gotta go dive into all of your work to get my research done so I could be a good host. But just such an
No, this was
inspiring and
excellent.
uh, it's so inspiring to see another Filipino brother out there using his skills and his talents to not only make people smile and laugh, but also educate and inspire them at the same time. And that's what you're doing for me, Sean. So
No.
thank you for ASOG. Again, I can't wait for everybody to check this out. Everybody, April 11th, as of this recording, available everywhere, digital platforms. Go check it out. Support the cause. I'm gonna have the links to ASOG because I know Sean and his team, you guys are doing so much more to help make a difference. And please, Sean, I'm gonna hit you up. I want to have you back so I can dive into your creative journey as a Filipino filmmaker that's just out here just doing it, man, and just just making it happen. And it's just so inspiring for me to see.
Oh, cheers. Well, thanks for sharing your platform with us. And yeah, looking forward to people watching it.
Thank you. Salamat po, Sean Devlin. I'm Kuya P, ASOG, again streaming on all digital platforms as this recording drops. I'm Nerds. This is Nerds Rule the World. Kuya Po ShoPowSho. Of course, he's the bro, the Babinka boy, the leader of the Hala Hala homies in the Sinegang gang. Mahal kita, salamat, Sean Devlin, Kuya P, Nerds Rule the World. All right, there's a cut, man. I got to make. I'm gonna do a 3, 2, 1. We're gonna have some fun. In a 1, 2, 3.